Hey guys, it's me again, Ms. Ladd, and we are going to pick up right where we left off at function checkScore. One of the things that I want to do is I need to set the end time for the user. Right? I'm going to also have to set the start time. Normally in JavaScript, we can call the date object with this code, new date, as you can see on line 96. And in fact, when I wrote the code for this basis for this tutorial, it worked perfectly, which is why it threw me for a loop when this did not work. Weird thing is that when I cut and paste the code from the previous version, it works. But I can't see anything that's different. So I Googled get time not working on code.org and found that in code.org's curated version of JavaScript, they already had a function that did exactly what I needed. So we are using that. It is seen here on line 97, and we will get rid of the date object right above, and we will get rid of the variable d. I'm going to do a console.log. So this is code.org's version of get time for regular JavaScript. I'll just see if it gets us that. Okay, let's try that. Reset, run, and I'm going to just click over here and do checkScore. And so here's my end time, and it works fine. So I might need to do that for start time also. So get time works. Let's stick with what works, right? And let me make sure that this is available globally. Yep, same number, same everything. Perfect. We're going to need this end time to compare to the start time. We have not set the start time value yet. We will do that shortly. So I know that this is working. That's all that matters to me right now. So I'm going to just comment this guy out. I'm going to want to get the start time set. So start time, get time, and then if I hit reset and run, when I hit the event listener, I should be able to access it from the console. So let's try that now. Let's go ahead and reset, run. Let's hit the start button. Let me start with start time. I'll just leave it. Okay, so I have a value. Cool. So now I'm just going to go through here and click these answers. And there. And it's not taking me to the end screen yet, but then you can see it does go to our check answer. We've got our objects. And then I'll just check to see if end time has a value on it. It does. Let's double check that it has a different value than what start time is. Perfect. So now we can find out how long it took for the player to go through the process of answering these questions. So that's what we need. So back here in this event listener, for the start button, we set start time equals get time. Up in here in checkScore, we have end time equals get time. And so it's setting those two variables to different values. So now that we have the records, right, we can then turn around. Like console.log records, we have it in the right order. No matter how many records, the top three are all we need. So records.length equals 3. And that's just going to truncate our array of records. So no matter what, we're just going to get the top 3. And this will allow us to just check that last item against our player score. So first thing we're going to need to know is how long did it take the player to get this done. So I'm going to create a variable, and it's going to be a local variable, and I'm going to call it playerTime. And that playerTime is going to equal, I want to subtract end time. I want to subtract actually the start time from the end time. And then divide that whole value by 1,000. And what that'll do is it'll basically give me the number of seconds, because end time and start time are both in milliseconds. Dividing that by 1,000 gives us seconds, right? 1,000 seconds. Milliseconds, it's 1 second divided into 1,000 little pieces. So there we go. So it'll take our milliseconds, it'll find out like when they started, subtract that value from when they ended, and then divide it by 1,000. Beautiful. All right. So, now we have the pseudocode for it. Now we got to write it out in code. If score is greater than records 2, that's our last index, dot player score underscore score, then we know that it has a higher score than what the person before it did. Let's see. I have an error message. So I put an extra parentheses in here. Let's get rid of that. So if score is greater than records 2 player score, that's our last guy on the totem pole, then we're going to want to set the screen to add player screen. Player screen. Else if, there we go. If the score is equal to records, square brackets 2, dot player score underscore score, and player time is less than records 2 dot seconds, then we know that this is still somebody that is worthy of being added to our table. So we'll just do set screen, add player screen again. Done. All right, else. So now we're just going to do our regular else. So if neither of those are true, then they are not worthy, and we're just going to set screen to the end screen, and we're going to have them go to the game over function. Now I'm going to go ahead and type this, but I'm going to comment it out because I don't want it to go to game over until I write the game over function. All right. Instead, I'll just write a console.log, so that will show us, yep, we've met game over. Just in case, like, we don't see anything happening, it doesn't go onto the add player screen, then, we can at least know, okay, this is where things stopped for the moment. So now, let's give this a try. So here's all our code that we just worked on. Let's go ahead and hit run. Let's go ahead and hit start. Let's see. Okay, Hito, Tetris, Charizard. So now it says, hey, you got a top score. It took me to the right spot. Perfect. That's what I needed to know. And because like our top person has a score of 2, right? If this person had a score of 3 and they did it in less time, let's find out. Let's go to endTime. Actually, yes, endTime. endTime minus startTime. We'll put that in a set of parentheses to make sure that this happens first. That's why we do the PEMDAS or BODMAS or whatever order of operations for math you guys are doing these days. Divided by 1,000. So is 6.492 less than 8? Absolutely it is. But you know, it's definitely better than 1 and 4 seconds. Well, 4 seconds, not less than 4 seconds, but still better than score 1. So they are deserving to be on our top score. So we got that right. All right, reset. So that's the end of this portion of the checkScore function. So next video, we're going to go to the add player screen and we're going to do all the functionality for that as well. So that's where we're at. I wish you guys happy coding and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.